It's finally here. And now it's time to get Streetcar Street Smart. Tucson's shop is among the best in North America, and Sentinel Peak Park gets an A for accessibility. These stories and more coming up next on Tucson City News in Review. Hi, I'm Lane Mandel, and welcome to Tucson City News in Review. On this show, we're coming to you from Sunlink's brand new streetcar maintenance and storage facility, where in a moment, we'll show you the exciting delivery of Tucson's first modern streetcar. But first, here's some well-deserved recognition for the department and the people who take care of the vehicles that help keep city services humming.
From the squad cars that respond to our calls to the trucks that collect our trash, the frontline employees who keep these vehicles on the road take pride in the jobs they perform.
Everybody in our department is basically holds themselves to a very high standard in their work quality and their safety, and we take the job very seriously.
For the outstanding work it provides to the community and the city, Fleet Services earned special recognition from Government Fleet magazine. The Top 100 Best Fleets Award taps into the heart of the city's mission to provide quality services to the citizens of Tucson, and it was an opportunity for managers to show their appreciation.
This award is a culmination of the hard work and dedication by all the men and women of the Fleet Services team.
It's really about the support of the citizens, the support of our customer departments and what they're trying to accomplish, and the need to keep the equipment on the road rolling safely. And that's what you dedicate yourselves to every single day.
We have a great organization, we have great employees, and the award that you're receiving and have received are just symbolic of the work that goes on every single day.
The celebration included a special presentation to Molly Polanco, the wife of Marty Polanco, who recently passed away after 24 years of service to the department.
Fleet Services has become a much better organization because of the time and skills that Marty dedicated to his work. We would also like to present to you the City of Tucson Fleet Services 100 Best Fleets hat and pin that Marty would have worn with pride.
The awards program recognizes peak performing public sector fleet operations in North America and encourages ever-increasing levels of performance improvement within the fleet industry.
And speaking of fleets, the big news is that the first of Tucson's fleet of 8 streetcars has finally arrived. And you know what that means. It's time for all of us to get Streetcar Street Smart. Hi, I'm Lane Mandel, here to tell you that the Sunlink streetcar is coming to Tucson. Vehicle testing will begin soon, and it's time for all of us to get Streetcar Street Smart. Portland, Oregon already has this streetcar, and it's a success. A green transit option that's creating a vibrant city with new jobs and new business. The Portland streetcar mixes safely with the traveling public. Whether you're a bicyclist, pedestrian, or motorist, we'll show you how to move safely along Tucson's streetcar corridor. Let's start with some important tips for cyclists. To help cyclists navigate, look for pavement markings along the route. Green pavement markings, sharrows, bike dots, and green bike boxes. Bike boxes allow cyclists to position themselves in front of vehicles at intersections. Whether you're turning left, right, or going forward, using the bike box allows cyclists to be more visible. The bike box also aids in turning safely, crossing over the tracks and street. Cyclists have 2 options to make a left turn, a 2-stage left and a vehicular left. For a 2-stage left, the cyclist arrives from the bike lane and proceeds forward to the far side of the intersection. With a pivot, the cyclist faces towards the intended direction, pauses, and then moves with the next phase of the traffic signal, crossing the tracks safely at as close to a right angle as possible. To make a vehicular left, the cyclist approaches the intersection, checks to ensure that all is clear, signals, then crosses over the track at as close to a right angle as possible, yielding to oncoming traffic and obeying traffic laws and signals. Other street markings designed to guide cyclists include bike dots and green pavement markings. Sharrows, or shared lane markings, have two benefits. They help cyclists position themselves safely within the lane, and they alert motorists to the presence of cyclists in the same lane. Remember, a sharrow indicates that a lane is shared. It does not mean that a lane is dedicated to cyclists. Bicyclists traveling between traffic and parked vehicles along the route should be aware of the door zone. The door zone is created when a driver in a parked car opens his or her door into your travel space. Streetcar track can be a challenge to ride alongside and to cross for anything with wheels. Bicycles, wheelchairs, motorcycles, scooters. Front tires sliding on the smooth track surface and wheels dropping into the track gap are common causes of bike mishaps in the streetcar environment. Meeting the track at anything but a 60 to 90 degree angle can cause your wheels to drop into the track gap. When negotiating corners on your bike, it's natural to lean into your turn. But this means less grip on the road just when you need it most, crossing a rail. Try to approach tracks as upright as possible, perpendicular to the rails. Keep in mind that near some streetcar stops and at some intersections, the tracks move over to hug the curb, which can lead to an otherwise avoidable squeeze. A little wobble here can lead to big trouble. Sometimes it may be best to take an alternate route. Let's recap what we learned. Avoid the door zone. Position yourself in the roadway at a distance from the track and from parked cars. Control your speed. Use green bike boxes. Cyclists have two options for left turns. Cross tracks as close to a right angle as possible. Pedestrians stay alert. The Sunlink streetcar, powered by electricity, moves quietly. Whether you're walking or riding, keep an eye out and use caution. Now here are some more tips for pedestrians moving along the streetcar corridor. Take care when walking over the track to avoid potential spills or catching high heels, canes, or anything with wheels in the track gap. Streetcar stops are located in the middle of the road and on the side of the road. That means you may be crossing the street to board at stops using new crosswalks. Use only designated crosswalks. If there is a walk signal, obey it. Look both ways before crossing and keep children close. So above all, be alert. New streetcar stops and vehicles may prevent those along the road from seeing pedestrians and may block pedestrians from seeing all the street action. So take care, obey all traffic signals, and cross only at designated locations. Let's recap. Step over the track. Use designated crosswalks. If there is a walk signal, obey it. Look both ways before crossing. Keep children close. Soon, motorists will be sharing a travel lane with the Sunlink streetcar vehicles. Streetcar operators must obey the same traffic and speed laws as any motorist. If you're driving, be alert, stay focused, and signal your intentions. Everyone traveling along, around, or across the Sunlink streetcar route should be on the lookout for upgrades, changes, and new ways of interacting with other travelers. Roadway space and safety demands may require you to drive on the streetcar track. Vehicle tires on the track may create the sensation of a shimmy, but no worries, the streetcar track isn't electrified. However, the overhead lines are hot, with over 750 volts running through them, not something to play around with. Green bike boxes and pavement markings indicate a cyclist zone. Don't stop on top of a green bike box. Keep it clear for cyclists. Typically, if the intersection has a green bike box, motorists won't be permitted to make a right on red. Look for signs to let you know. Remember, cyclists in the green bike box lead the way through the intersection, with motorists following. When parking on the street along the route, pause and check your mirrors for cyclists, motorists, and streetcars. Exit your vehicle with caution. Let's look at what we learned. It's safe to drive on the streetcar rail. Do not stop on top of green bike boxes. Watch that right on red. Do not pass a streetcar while at a streetcar stop. When parking on the street along the route, park efficiently, pause, and check your mirrors before you exit, and open your door with caution. With a little care and a little attention to each other, we can negotiate the Sunlink streetcar line safely and enjoy all the great benefits it brings to our city. For more safety information, visit the streetcar website at sunlinkstreetcar.com. Get Streetcar Street Smart and get ready for the ride. Building and caring for the city's transportation infrastructure is a big piece of the city's budget. Now here's a public forum designed to show taxpayers just what it takes to keep Tucson moving.
2,100, that's the number of street miles maintained by TDOT, the Tucson Department of Transportation. TDOT also takes care of 19,700 streetlights, 586 traffic signals, and 575 miles of bikeways, and much more. It all costs money, and it takes a lot of it to keep Tucson moving. So where does the money come from? And just how does the city decide to spend our transportation tax dollars?
Okay, great.
The answer, it turns out, is complicated. So, to educate citizens, Ward 3 invited the public to a forum featuring transportation officials from TDOT, PAG, and the RTA. Ward 3 Councilmember Karen Ulick kicked off the evening.
Shaping transportation, choosing how to invest our limited resources has enormous implications for our community.
The forum, called Transportation 101, required a lot of time and effort to put together.
We've been working on this 3 or 4 months, and I gotta say, it's actually been a really good exercise for us. We've had to think about the message we want to deliver. We've had to think about the job we do.
It's important that people understand how we do things in TDOT and how because transportation is, I think, one of the few services the city provides that touches everybody in our community. It's a broad-based.
One of our big efforts is trying to educate everybody on what the impact is when you get a certain type of funding. Once we know how much money we're getting, though, that's the opportunity, or yet another opportunity, for public input.
Speaking for himself, Andy McGovern echoed comments from many who work in transportation.
Absolutely. I was born and raised in Tucson. I've lived here all my life. These are the streets I drive, so I'm fully invested in this. And so I want to see the best for this community, and I'm proud to have a hand in that.
To learn how you can have a hand in Tucson's transportation future, visit tucsonaz.gov/transportation.
For some, the ability to get from point A to B can be a challenge. But when accessibility is a priority, as it was in this latest park improvement, it can make all the difference in the world.
All right. 1, 2, 3. Sentinel Peak!
This is another monumentous occasion when we can celebrate the dedication and opening of some park improvements.
Improvements that were part of a 2010 master plan approved by Mayor and Council. The $320,000 price tag was funded by a city land sale, highway user revenue funds, and other public sources.
We organized a community-based campaign to increase safe access to Sentinel Peak Park, and this is the result of it. I'm very impressed, and I'm very happy and excited about it.
Mac Hudson is not the only one pleased with the results.
It's beautiful. It's very scenic, as well as the structures that came out of this are very nice as well. Environmentally, they just blend right in. It's really nice to see.
And getting to those observation points is easier than ever with new ADA accessible trails.
We wanted to have this place to be available to everyone in the community, from 0 to 150, able and not.
I feel very honored that they include people with disabilities to have a chance to come up here, enjoy the views, because we were not able to enjoy the views before, and now we have 2 ramadas and a nice trail.
Whether you're at the base of the mountain by the new entry signs or up high at a new ramada, you're guaranteed a beautiful view.
That wraps it up for this edition, but before we go, here's a behind-the-scenes look at the arrival from Portland of Tucson's first streetcar. For Tucson 12, I'm Lane Mandel, and I'll see you next time on Tucson City News in Review.